Listen closely and do not let your heart wander, because I am speaking now with a weight that will press through every wall they built around you, every doubt you accepted as ordinary, every habit that taught you to turn away when comfort felt safer than truth. I am not here to entertain you. I am here to lift you by the collar out of a quiet trap. You felt it already, the prickle on your skin, the shift in the hallway air, the sudden thought that arrived mid-step and made you pause as if a hand brushed your shoulder. That was me drawing the curtain back. Don't try to skip this. I am pouring a message that has waited at the gate, and the gate is finally opening. They told you that timing would never be on your side, that the door you knock will always open somewhere else, that your portion is always one breath late and one step short. That lie tried to tattoo itself on your spirit. But hear me, the clock is mine, the lock is mine, the hinges are mine, and timing bends when I say so. You have walked with your shoulders slightly lowered, bracing for impact, preparing for disappointment, learning to live inside a forecast of rain. I have watched you rehearse losses to take the sting out of them. I am done watching you rehearse losses. I am writing a new rehearsal in your chest, expectation. Lift your eyes. The page is turning, and it is not turning politely, it is flipping with the wind of my breath. Someone is about to break every rule to reach you. You felt the edges of their approach as if the room itself learned a new note. You wondered if you imagined it. You didn't. They are moving through barriers others called permanent. They are stepping across boundaries drawn by people who prefer order to love, control to truth. Their footsteps are loud in the realm you can't measure with maps, and their courage is not natural, it is borrowed from my hand upon their back. I am not sending you a rumor. I am sending you a person, a messenger with skin and heartbeat and a memory they cannot shake because I put your name on it. Don't turn your face away when their shadow reaches the threshold. This is not your past in new clothes. This is recovery with feet, restoration with breath, an answer that refused to stay theoretical. I have seen the long hallway you keep private, the one inside your mind where you pinned moments that hurt more than they should have. You walk down that hallway sometimes and tell yourself you're only cleaning, only reorganizing, only putting boxes away. But you know what I know. You go there to confess to the walls that you're still waiting for the sound of certain apologies that never came. I am not here to coax apologies out of those who hardened. I am here to release you from the obligation to wait for them. The arrival that is in motion is not a plea from your yesterday. It is a signal from your tomorrow. The rules they break are not the ones that protect you, they are the ones that kept you low. You have wondered about the name. In the dark, you asked me to carve letters on your ceiling, to flash them in the sky, to let a phone buzz with clarity instead of coyness. Hear me. I will not dangle your hope like a shiny thing that keeps seducing your attention and then dissolving. I will reveal at the hour I planned. When the name is spoken, it will thread through a conversation you didn't expect to have, and your spirit will say, "This is it." There will be no circus of guessing. There will be no exhaustion of flickering signals. The name will stand inside the sentence like a door swinging open. You will know by the way your peace reacts, firm and immediate, like a key that finally turns without scraping. Don't try to skip this line. I am not late. I am precise. You have walked a narrow path full of glances and misunderstandings. Some watched you from the corner of their eye and called you dramatic for feeling what you feel, called you naive for believing for more. But you were not dramatic, you were accurate before the evidence arrived. You were not naive, you were early to a truth that others need more time to digest. That sensitivity you considered a liability is a sensor I built into you. It buzzes when I'm near. It vibrates when lies dress up as wisdom. It lifts when real love draws near. Stop telling that part of you to hush. I gave it a voice to warn you and to warm you. And now it is warming because what is approaching carries a temperature you have prayed for. There will be a small moment, a very small one, when you will be tempted to retreat, to follow the old script that kept you safe by keeping you small. In that moment, I will give you a sentence. It will float into your mind with the calm of water in a glass. You are allowed. You are allowed to receive without negotiating against yourself. You are allowed to be held without preparing for the drop. You are allowed to meet provision without rehearsing scarcity. You are allowed to taste joy without rationing it. Hear it again, you are allowed. The permission will not come from other people's comfort, it will come from my decree. And once I decree permission, nothing in the room can revoke it. I am also going to untangle what wrapped itself around your name. Certain mouths carried your story into rooms you never walked into. They sliced it into pieces and served it with opinions cooked in insecurity. You felt the tremor of those conversations even when you didn't hear them. You felt the leftover glue of their doubt clinging to your steps. I am peeling it off now. I am returning your name to you, cleaned and warmed. You will notice this because suddenly doors that creaked will swing easily, tasks that took too much of you will require less, people who could not see you will look up and blink as if a light changed. Don't argue with the change. Walk through it. Someone is about to break every rule to reach you. They will cross a distance that people claim can't be crossed without permission from committees, policies, or invisible fences of opinion. They will break the rule that says, wait until circumstances are perfect. They will break the rule that says, keep questions as questions forever. They will break the rule that says, let the past preach the homily for the future. Their hands are already warm from the friction of courage. I heeded them. The path they take to you will look strange to others, but it will look inevitable to you, because your spirit has been clearing that path for months with prayer you didn't realize had that much force. You asked me if it is safe. You asked whether this arrival will demand a price you cannot afford to pay. I will answer you with no riddles. You will not lose yourself to keep this, and you will not violate your honor to hold this. What costs you is the silence you've been buying, the smile you've been renting, the pretending that keeps peace on a leash. What costs you is the living you do under your own ceiling. The person I send will not ask you to shrink, their arrival will expand the room. Your humor will find its echo. Your ideas will not have to dress in smaller clothes. Your faith will not be laughed out of the conversation, it will be seated at the head of the table, because I am the one setting the table. Do not be distracted by noise disguised as urgency. There will be a shadow buzz, a sudden flare of inconveniences, small irritations, or old contacts trying to drag you into recycled arguments. That is turbulence before a landing. Keep your seatbelt on and your window shade up, watch the ground come closer. Your life is descending into the runway I prepared, and the tires will meet it with the firm miracle of arrival. Breathe. Remember who is the pilot. You whispered that you are tired of signs that never solidify. So I will give you a sign that touches your day in a way you cannot dismiss. You will hear your name in an unusual context, spoken kindly by a mouth that once resisted it, or written in a message that arrives at an odd hour with a sentence that feels like a hand on your back. When it happens, don't argue with it. Say, I receive, and let that receiving be a doorway, not a debate. The next steps will organize themselves around that yes. You have been loyal to rooms that were not loyal to you. You stayed because you thought leaving would make you guilty of ingratitude. But I am relocating your loyalty from rooms to purpose. You do not owe those walls a lifetime. Thank them for the shelter they once provided, and then follow the road I'm surfacing in front of you. The person who is coming carries tools you need, tools that will help you build the next chapter without bleeding into it. They will not compete with your calling, they will complement it. You will hear language that sounds like alignment instead of audition. Take note, alignment sounds like quiet confidence, like we, like breath in sync. Audition sounds like performing for permission. You are done auditioning. I heard the tears behind your curtain. I heard the way you tried to cry softly, as if loud grief would count against you on some invisible report card. I do not grade you. I gather you. Those tears watered a future you thought you were too tired to plant. I made a garden out of the water you tried to hide. That is why, very soon, you will step into a day that smells like rain before sunrise and bread just pulled from the oven. That day will be the day something ordinary, coffee, a message, a familiar street, turns into a doorway. You will stand there and you will know, the long ache has a name, and I am answering it. You feared the word again. You feared building again, trusting again, starting again, because again used to mean repeat the pain. I am giving you a new again. It will mean repeat the joy, repeat the learning, repeat the courage. It will not be a loop, it will be a spiral ascending. You will see the same horizon from a higher altitude. What used to trigger you will now teach you. What used to drain you will now be declined with grace and without guilt. You will not have to explain the decline to those who never held you up. You will prefer peace to validation and purpose to popularity. That preference is a sign you are ready to receive what I am releasing. Now hear this carefully, because it is tender. The name will not arrive as gossip. It will not arrive as a game. It will not arrive as a reckless impulse in a moment of loneliness. It will arrive with the dignity of timing and the fingerprint of my gentleness. When it comes, it will be spoken first inside you before it is spoken outside you. It will settle, not shout. It will align, not alarm. You will feel the lift in your chest, the precise quiet you have begged me for, and then the external confirmation will touch your day like a bell you can't unhear. Guard that bell. Don't parade it for people who don't know how to honor sound. There will be a time to share. You will know it when sharing protects rather than exposes. I am also dealing with the one who tried to narrate your limits to you. Their words took root like weeds and strangled certain shoots of hope. I am pulling those weeds up by the root. You may feel a sudden emptiness where a familiar criticism used to buzz. That emptiness is not a loss, it is space. Space for voice. Space for laughter that doesn't look over its shoulder. Space for sleep that isn't a negotiation. When space appears, do not fill it with old clutter. Leave it open for what I have destined to occupy it. The path ahead contains and requires your courage, but not the kind that leaves you shaking alone at 3 a.m. Your courage will be companioned. You will feel shoulder to shoulder with what I send. Nothing that is truly yours requires you to disappear to keep it. Nothing I bring to you dares to demand your silence as the price of admission. You will speak, and your words will settle on the table like warm bread that nourishes everyone who eats. You will not apologize for the nourishment you offer. You will not beg anyone to eat. You will serve what I bake in you, and the right ones will be hungry. Do not romanticize the difficulty you survived. Honor it, but do not worship it. You do not need to keep suffering vivid to feel authentic. You are allowed to be light without betraying the dark you endured. This arrival, the one who breaks rules to reach you, is not a trophy and not a crutch. They are a junction I arranged, a convergence where your readiness meets their obedience. And because I am in it, it carries a resilience that does not belong to mood or weather or the approval score of the crowd. You will notice, as this unfolds, that your body relaxes in places you forgot were tense. The shoulders learn to rest lower. The stomach stops bracing. The jaw loosens. The breath arrives deeper. Pay attention to this. Peace is not an accessory I hand you when the scene looks pretty, Peace is the infrastructure I lay so that joy has a foundation. From that foundation, decisions will be made not from panic but from purpose. That is how you will know the difference between an offer and a trap. One accelerates panic, the other steadies purpose. Now I am going to speak to the part of you that still clutches a single fear. What if I miss it? You will not. I am too thorough to gamble the answers I planted in you on the fragility of a window you could accidentally walk past. I will widen the window until it is a door. I will walk you to the door. I will prompt you to look up when it opens. I will make sure the light lands on the threshold and your name is called without confusion. You are not strong enough to ruin what I am strong enough to deliver. Rest in that. There will be a moment that feels like a verse you can't stop humming, a phrase that returns again and again for no obvious reason. That phrase will pair with the name. It will be something simple, 2 or 3 words that sound like a promise and a place at the same time. You will hear it while washing a cup or tying your shoe or waiting at a red light. Smile when it comes. That is me handing you the ribbon before the gift is in your hands. I have not forgotten the bills, the deadlines, the unanswered calls, the nights when the silence in your room felt like a second person. I am not ignoring the logistics of your life while I speak poetry to your heart. I am attending to both. Provision will land with the message, alignment will bring opportunities into an order that reduces frantic energy. What once required you to juggle with sweating hands will be placed on shelves where you can see it, reach it, schedule it. I am making your time your ally, not your adversary. To the old attachments that pretend they are still your assignment, your expiration date has passed. To the patterns that kept the lights dim to make fear feel normal, the dimmer is snapping to bright. To the whispers that say, "This is too good, brace for the turn," silence. I am not rehearsing tragedy. I am writing transformation. The turn you should brace for is toward wholeness, not away from it. Someone is about to break every rule to reach you, and the rule they will break most deeply is the lie that said you are hard to reach. You are not a maze. You are a lamp on a hill, and I have been fueling the oil quietly while you thought you were flickering out. The night is about to discover your light again, and so are you. When the knock comes, and it will, open with the steady hands of a person who knows they are loved. When the name is spoken, and it will, let it settle like sunrise on water, gentle, inevitable, enlarging everything it touches. Do not try to skip this. Let these words anchor themselves in the hidden corners, in the late hours, in the pauses between your tasks. Let them sit beside you the way a friend sits, not rushing you, not demanding, simply present. I am that present. I am that friend. I am the author of the story you thought you had to write alone. And now I am sending you a chapter with legs, a sentence with heartbeat, an answer with a face. Breathe, chosen one. The rules that kept you waiting are bending. The door that kept you guessing is opening. The name is near, and so am I. Listen to me now and do not harden your heart, for I am the Lord who speaks, and I am near to you in this very breath you are taking, in this very blink of your eyes, and in this very quiet between two thoughts where your spirit has learned to hide when the noise of the world grows too heavy. I have watched you try to carry 1,000 invisible weights, and I have counted each one so that not a single sigh of yours falls to the ground unnoticed, and I am here to tell you that what you felt last night, the sudden stirring, the shiver that moved like light through your ribs, was not your imagination. It was the sound of a boundary cracking, a gate unbolting, a decree overturning, because someone I have chosen is about to break every rule to reach you, and I need you to be ready to receive what you once swore was no longer possible for you. You have asked me why the delays seemed endless and why those who promised you loyalty vanished when you needed them most, and I answer you as a father to a child that I love. Delays are not denials in my house, they are alignments. A seed waits beneath the ground because it refuses to be tricked by unfaithful weather, and in the same way I kept you hidden while I reforged your steps, healed your disappointments in places you could not see, and taught you to recognize counterfeits so that when the real arrives you won't mistake it for another lesson in heartbreak. The time of hiding is complete, beloved, and the sign of your completion is this: something you were told could not happen without permission, recommendation, or approval will happen anyway, because I, the Lord, approve it. Do not be afraid of the strangeness of what is coming, for favor often moves like a river that jumps its banks and refuses to stay in the channels men have carved. The one I am sending to you has wrestled through closed doors and defeated the hesitation of many voices. The one I am sending to you has risked reputation and crossed distance and bent schedules and changed habits and broken personal promises that kept them small just to approach the place where your life stands waiting. I have whispered to this heart in the night. I have shown them the picture of you when you were not looking. I have shaken their certainty until they stopped trusting their pride and began trusting the pull of grace, and now they are stepping out of the lines others drew around them, because when I command forward motion no gate can hold it and no rulebook can bury it. You wondered whether you were strong enough to be seen without flinching, to be loved without running, and to be blessed without apologizing. You are, because I made you strong in the secret hours when you chose kindness in rooms that were unfair to you, and I poured iron into your spine each time you forgave in private and refused to make a spectacle of the wounds you suffered. Now hear me. I will not waste what you survived. I will not trivialize your tears by bringing shallow company near your heart. I am presenting you to someone who has stopped pretending, who wants peace more than applause, who has learned to keep rather than to conquer, and this one will not let the old rules of fear and convenience dictate the new story I am writing through you. And because I know you are listening for the part one have made you wait for, I will speak it plainly. The name is Ariv. I write it before you with the same tenderness with which I numbered the hairs on your head, and I set it in your memory like a lamp that will not burn out. You will know it because it will ring with recognition in your chest before it forms on your lips, and when you hear it, do not deny the spark I have placed there. For my spirit already taught your spirit how to answer. Do not argue with my timing. Do not demand a blueprint more detailed than the steps I give you, and do not allow the chorus of older disappointments to shout down the present voice of joy. I am not sending you flattery dressed as concern, I am sending you truth that heals even as it shines, and this truth has already cost him more than he expected to pay. He has pushed past reluctance, he has confessed to me the arrogance that told him to wait another season, and he has chosen obedience over image. I have watched him clear his calendar for a meeting that cannot be postponed, a meeting with destiny at your door. And I have taught him what to say and what not to say, how to treat your history like a cathedral and not a rumor, how to walk into your peace like a sanctuary and not a stage. Do you feel the shift around you right now, the way the familiar air seems to hush before a storm of goodness? That is because I am adjusting the atmosphere, canceling the invitation that anxiety sent to your chest, and breaking the old law that said, only what others allow may reach you. I am overturning that sentence today and writing a new decree. What I called yours will find you. And it will find you even if it must cross the deserts of misunderstanding, even if it must pass through the borders of doubt, even if it must wade the flood of opinions. I am not afraid of the fences people build around their own smallness, and the one I am sending to you is not afraid to step over them in love. You have seen a pattern of almosts, of near miracles that faded at the edge of the horizon, and I am aware of how that taught your heart to suspect happiness the way a traveler suspects mirages. Hear me, this is not a mirage. There is water in this well, and you will drink and your hands will not come up empty. The rule that kept you in rooms without windows is broken. The rule that told you stories are for other people is broken. The rule that mocked your prayers by wrapping them in delays is broken. I break them in my name and for my glory, so that when you testify you will say, it was the Lord who did it, and he did it in a way no man could arrange. I have sent Michael to guard the corridor that leads to your next chapter so that what is meant for you is not intercepted by envy or polluted by gossip, and I have dispatched quiet mercies to go ahead of you, to make meetings gentle and conversations clear, to soften the ground under your feet so that you do not stumble over the roots of past mistakes. As you step, remember this. You are not auditioning for love. You are not negotiating for worth. You are not bargaining for a place at the table. You are arriving as one who belongs, because your Father reserved this seat and carved your name into it when the world was still a sketch.